Hello America, me again, here to annoy. This is take 4 of Vchip Part 1. First off, one of my subscribers, great subscriber, uh, posts lots of movies, brings lots of information to the table, good to watch. Um, Seems to be thinking that I don't really know what anarchy is, and I do know what anarchy is, and I'm not pushing for anarchy in no way. I don't want anarchy. So anarchy, by its definition, is disorder. And no, I don't want disorder. Political disorder. It specifies political disorder. Violence, absence of government. I like minimalized government, the way the Constitution set forth. That in the event of a common threat to our sovereignty, an independent, autonomous government may remain abreast of global happenings. And that's the point of minimalized government. And that was our founding fathers set forth when they really had the plan for minimalized government. I cannot condone anarchy. I can't, because Afghanistan was in anarchy prior to our arrival. I was for Afghanistan because Afghanistan had little more than roaming bands of gun-toting nutsoids that just absolutely would kill and destroy anything in their path for the purpose of themselves. Now, again, without the mask this time, libertarian, not confined, free, freedom from slavery or any other form of arbitrary control. And just so you know, arbitrary, its definition, not fixed by rules, one's own choice. I'm a true libertarian. I should have those choices. The path that we're heading down now is one of no choice. So let's get on to the segment. The Vchip. You'll be referred to, this could go as far as taking away your name and just giving you a simple number assignment at birth because you never met your parents. You don't know who they are, and you work each and every day, and you'll never find out, no matter how curious you will be, because curiosity is human nature. If they could breed that out, I'm sure they'd probably breed that out too. Which one's worse? Citizen number blah blah blah, or patriot number blah blah blah, whatever your number or assignment are. Afghanistan had true anarchy prior to us. We sort of left them in ruin. It became left to Muslim clerics, sectarian violence, meaning roaming gangs like the Bloods and the Crips. If they had control, and every time a cop tried to show up to bring some order, they'd just kill him. So that's what was going on in Afghanistan. That's most of the reason why I was for Afghanistan. I'm against Iraq because I realize, and I did then and I do now, what was going on in Iraq as far as their warring and trying to keep peace. And some of the tactics we do, I don't see any difference between what they did and what we did with the torture. And we said, oh, his human rights violations, but we gave him the gas that he needed to accomplish his job. And then we turned around and said, oh, well, you shouldn't have done that. And that was Donald Rumsfeld and the previous Bush regime. Now, the verichip, the biochip, the nano chip. There's about a dozen names for it, and this is something that needs to be corrected. We all need to get together on one word: Vchip, the verichip, verification, chip for identification. So the verichip, VERICHIP. Now the Vchip, first it will arrive as a card. It'll be pretty mundane. You'll get a little card, and they're practically going to call it the Patriot card. And what that's, I'm surprised that no one's screaming out loud. I see some videos here and there, but I don't see anyone really saying what a horrible thing this could be. And once enough V-chips get stolen, they say, hey, no problem, we'll just inject you with some nanites, and we'll get it done. Now, of course, this opens up the door to other types of identity fraud and theft, and unfortunately, or fortunately for the criminal, I really can't make that distinction, they'll either steal your card, or they'll cut off your hand, or they'll do whatever they need to do so they can eat. Because the verichip system will ensure it's not for terrorists. It's not to bring about terrorists. It's simply to show you that this is how you're going to be cogged into the machine. And if you don't like it, well, just tough, because we have a FEMA concentration camp right over there, and there's the bus. So it starts out real simple. They give you a little painless ID, and everyone gets to have something to say in the middle of it, and then they'll send you off on your way. Enough cards get stolen and say, oh, well, this isn't solving anything. It's almost as bad as it was before with computer identity theft, and now we're just going to play another trick on you. Then the next step, of course, is going to be the injected. Now they show you the verichip, which is that little tiny tube, and I don't think it's actually very big. They inject it right up underneath your skin. Um, excuse me. Sorry, I had a big dinner. Uh, you know, you'll need to present it, and most of the readers are already in every place you go anyway. They'll know where you're at. They'll know what you buy. They'll know all of your general habits, and there's going to be a database set aside just for that information. And then any unscrupulous information that they find, just like the mudslinging they do now in politics, they'll use it against you. I'm curious to know how many of the wealthy, their children will be verichipped. If this is a two-party system, and it's the poor and the rich, I'm curious to know whether or not the rich will be injected with their verichip as well. And if they are, there's your chance. Global positioning satellites know where you are, how long you're there, what you're doing, can listen into conversations, and don't tell me they can't, because if they can listen in to or sense body temperature, heat, moisture, and actually sort of almost sniff the foods that they're injected into now, there's no reason they can't sense body temperature, actions, activity, when you're sleeping, when you're at rest. And so, this isn't my ploy for anything, because I work pretty hard, and I do what I have to, but the next generation and the generations to follow are going to be the ones who suffer worst if we don't work now. If you don't want to work, or if you're caught sleeping on the job, or you quit your job, it's going to put your card in a suspended sort of mode. They're going to want to investigate your whole of. So when you go to climb onto a local bus with your verichip, your Vchip system, whether or not you can afford to pay those doors, or whether or not those doors are going to open and close. This is airline tickets. This is a car you want to buy. This is a car you want to rent. This is anything that you want in your life that's going to be extra. The national banks, and this is the World Bank and the other organizations, are going to have a database to know whether or not that money is available to you that fast, and they'll shut you down instantly. And then they say, well, if you don't want to conform to society, well, we'll just shut off your Vchip. And so you're stranded. You're literally a non-citizen of planet Earth as a result of having been alienated from the Vchip. Now, from where I stand, that sounds like slavery. You either get to work or you die. I work pretty hard, like I said. Right now, newborn infants in hospitals are using insurance methods to say that these children must be injected with these chips. That's a lot to say. And for their insurance policy, which is a lie, because they are violating these people's personal rights and taking away any common knowledge. Now, they're studying it now. Emergency medical need, like Alzheimer's patients, yes. If the family chooses that this would be a good idea because this family member walks off and wanders off, yeah, then that's the one time that I would see that would be necessary. That hardmost card will soon transform into the technology that exists as nanite or microbial levels, a little larger than a speck of sand. I saw them in a small vial. I told you about it. Was being designed and intended and implemented before any of the presidents. Any of the presidents, really, that like I said, are standing. I had to do this one late, so I sort of ran one over top of the other with a couple of things that I had to say. Real quick, libertarians everywhere, and everyone else, this is the time. This is the time that we have to do this, and we don't have much, because at the rate they're progressing now, that's where some of this legislation has come about. When they talk about taking away your rights, illegal wiretapping, unconstitutional. The writ of habeas corpus still suspended, unconstitutional. Senators and congressmen running to Congress to make laws to suit the president. I don't know why. I still don't know why this is happening. I know right now they're on break, but it won't be very long. Gonzalez is gone, and everything else in America, we just need to push a little harder. September 15th.